Ask yourself, do I look like a radical socialist with a soft spot for rioters? Really? I want a safe America, safe from COVID, safe from crime and looting, safe from racially motivated violence, safe from bad cops. Let me be crystal clear, safe from 4 more years of Donald Trump.
I mean, he's basically laying out what Dan is saying specifically. And look, I wish he was a radical socialist, but he's clearly not. And that's why I think while I point out the insanity of the Democrats saying during the primary that we can't have Bernie Sanders because then they'll call him a socialist, when we damn well knew that they were gonna call Pete Buttigieg a socialist if he was the candidate. I'll point that out because that annoys me, and it will in the future when they continue to do it. But I don't think a lot of people who weren't already eager as hell to throw on their red hat and vote for Trump are actually buying that Joe Biden is some sort of Maoist. Like, it's just not Joe Biden. He's been around for too long. People have their opinion of him. If you want to change the opinion of Joe Biden, there are some ways that I think you could actually do that, some pressure points. But him being a radical Marxist, I think that is a bridge too far. And that's why I've criticized that strategy from the Trump administration as seeming pretty desperate. I don't think that that's going to work.
Yeah, me neither. And like, I will say that I'm gotten my anger out from the way this primary went down, and I've accepted, especially through the DNC, the way the Democratic Party wants to project itself, which is being, as Sam Cedar put it, the Republican National Committee of 2004. But even in a more broader sense, just like a return to a normal where you don't have to look at CNN and freak out because the president said something crazy. That's all he's going back to. But the day afterwards, if we do all this work to get Joe Biden elected, I'm going to be very forceful in saying my real opinion, which is I don't care about any rioting or any expression of frustration, because enough is enough. People were rioting because they had enough when Rodney King happened, and that was literally 3 or 4 years before I was born. And so people have long had enough for my entire lifetime and then some. So like, I understand when people get angry. That's not gonna be, this isn't me endorsing that necessarily, but I'm not going to rush and get upset at people for destroying property when they literally feel like their lives don't matter.
Yeah, the only point where, to play devil's advocate, I sort of get the frustration about the riots is that how could white America have ever suspected that enslaving a people for hundreds of years, and then once they're finally freed, instituting a nationwide set of laws that make it impossible to even live, brutalizing them, lynching them, setting up police specifically to stop them from living even a shadow version of the American dream. And then once we finally get past a little bit of the more explicit versions of that, insisting that racism never existed, that slavery was actually good, how could they have ever thought that that would lead to anything bad happening?
For all these people, we like to say that the Republicans are really smart with business, but it didn't seem like they priced in the cons or like the potential downsides of the strategy they've decided to go forward with since like the Nixon days. They're like, pros were able to build this borderline unbreakable hegemony of the rich, white, male, and wealthy. Cons, we might start an uprising, the likes of which America can only relate to maybe the French Revolution. How about them tax cuts? Like, that's what happened.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.